good?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Welcome back to More at Midweek, everybody. This is faith sharing, as most of you know, or all of you know, because you've been here a time or two. I'm going to read this Sunday's Gospel and share some faith on it. So, without further ado, this Sunday's Gospel comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 1 through 12. In it, it says, "When Jesus saw the crowds, he went up to the mountain. And after he sat down, his disciples came to him. He began to teach them, saying, 'Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the land. Blessed are they who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the clean of heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are they who are persecuted for the sake of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you and persecute you, and utter every kind of evil against you falsely because of me. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven.'" So, there's a few things that, when I first read this, stuck out to me. The first thing being, in the first verse here, we read, "His disciples came to him, and he began to teach them." And so, in this verse, it's very small and minor, but it stuck out to me because that's exactly what we're called to do, and this is why the disciples are noted doing it in this scripture, and it's also what we are called to do as disciples of Jesus. We're supposed to go to him, whether that be through the Mass or other sacraments, or in our prayer, or in reading scripture. And we're supposed to learn from him, whether it be by learning through scripture, reading what his actions were, or in the sacraments, learning about his sacrifice and mercy and all of the other great graces that are bestowed upon us. And then we go through all of the different, basically, the blesseds, so to speak. And there's a lot to unpack there, so I'm not going to go through each individual one. But basically, what is being said here in the book of Matthew is that anything that you could see as a trial or a tribulation, something against you, in it here we had, "Blessed are they who mourn, for they will be comforted." We oftentimes find it very easy to look at the things that are afflicted to us as something to get down on, or something to, be upset about, and rightfully so. We should definitely take time to mourn when we have a loss, and we should take time to really reflect on negative things in our lives. But these negative things that the Lord is saying here, he twists them, not necessarily twists them, that's the wrong word, it has a negative connotation, but he takes them and makes them into something a little bit more beautiful. So, where it says here, "Blessed are the merciful," well, the only way to be merciful is to have someone wrong you and show them mercy. So, in that instance, somebody is obviously afflicted, the merciful, and they will be shown mercy. So because of their affliction that has been put upon them, they are bestowed a grace. Excuse me. And I think that it's important to realize, and what we're called to do here with this scripture is not only just go and learn about Christ and try to learn from him through all of the different things that we do as Christians, but also we're called in this time to really be opportunists to when something happens to us, whether it's good or bad, especially the bad, to look at it as an opportunity from God to really realize what we're being called to do there. And through knowing the scripture and through knowing the sacraments and through knowing Christ, we'll better be able to do those things. And so, let's say that we're in a situation where somebody tragically dies in our lives, somebody that we loved and cared for. Yes, that's a terrible thing, and it deserves mourning. But you are also overwhelmingly blessed with their presence in your life first and foremost, and that's something to give thanksgiving to. And you're also called to something in that moment, and each situation is completely different. And so it is our duty as good Christians and good Catholics to find whatever it is that we're being called to do in those negative moments and take that ball and run with it. Because all of these different circumstances, we realize that these things are not good, they're not okay, and you'd hope that they wouldn't happen, but when they do, it's okay, and you just have to pick up your cross and do what it is that Christ would do. And the only way to know that fully is to learn on what he has done and to be active in the sacraments and to fully understand Christ's role in your life. And even though it may suck, and there are times where, you will be merciful to somebody or you will mourn and things will still not go your way, but the key point here that all of this alludes to, and I'm sorry about that train, but yeah, I know. We can set our clock. But I can see it passing. Okay. Man, gotta love COVID faith sharings outside, huh? But anyways, in these times, in these trials, and even perfect example, being in the middle of a global pandemic where we're forced to be outside and subject to the noise of trains, we got to take the ball and run with it and do what Christ would do in those moments. Because if we do, we will be given all of the riches that were taken away from us, or that we didn't necessarily get to see or get to have on earth, because we will have them in heaven. And that is basically the whole key point of this scripture, is that all these different things are a call to do what Christ did, so that we can live in eternity with him in utter peace and in the joy of the light of his face, so that none of the mundane things of this world will actually matter. But that is all I have for you. Thank you guys for listening, and I'm going to turn it back over to Jeremy in a second here, and he can coordinate us in intercessory prayer.